Hello. Hello. The Ivy report, they claims all their hard work resulted in a wildflower patch that is poor. The client has said publicly at least twice that all the reports on the wildflower patch in Castle Meadow, including the one from Ivy Verde, would be made available to the public. The Ivy Verde assessment took place in March, and we're now in August, and the reports still have not been made public. So why haven't they been made public? And when can we see them? At the town council meeting last month, the spraying of herbicide on Castle Meadow was discussed. Can the clerk guarantee that herbicide will not be used to damage or destroy the wildflower patch in Castle Meadow before the planning application is finally approved by Wiltshire Council that justifies the expansion of the car park onto the wildflower area of Castle Meadow? Do you want me to provide an update? Please.
You'll be aware through correspondence that the council has yet to review the detailed plan of the car park and its works. The project group is currently working on the detailed plan, and when that is in a position to present to council, then it will be incorporated in the council report with all of the various other elements of evidence. At the moment, it is not appropriate to put that to council because there's nothing for the council to vote on at this moment in time. In terms of the scope of works, the scope of works did make reference to an ID Birdie report, but since then the council has had its own independent survey done by Wessex Ecology, and that report has been circulated to the project group alongside the other reports. In terms of the herbicide, and that was discussed at council last month, and there was no actions arising from that. There was no resolution made, so there is no action on the herbicide.
But can you guarantee that it won't happen?
Well, the council hasn't resolved for it to happen.
You won't bring it back, and
it may come back at a later date, but at the moment the council has resolved not to treat the Castle Meadow area with herbicide, so there is no action.
The question was about the wildflower patch.
it was, yeah. So if you decide to treat Castle Meadow, can you guarantee that you won't treat the flower patch?
I can't decide anything. The council has decided not to progress the treatment of herbicide, so that's it. The matter is not progressing.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Who would like to, the other side of the door now, who would like to ask a question or make a statement?
Well, I'd actually just like to say that I'm quite new in Wilton. And thank you. And one of the first things I did walking from my sister's house was walk across Castle Meadows. And I was really impressed when I saw that area and all the signs and everything that was there. And I noticed that one of the things that the council's trying to progress with is the heritage conservation. And for me, my heritage is nature more than anything else. And I would hope that that area would be safe because it's really beautiful. And it really touched me and saw that this was a part of Wilton. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Who's next, please? Thank you. Yep.
So I used to be the council cleaner, and I spent a lot of time after cleaning the pavilion, helping with the wildflower meadow, which obviously Wilton Council made some funds available for at the time, a few years ago. I would imagine it's just coming to fruition now and beginning to, have a lot of flowers and insects, that we need. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, in all my time when I was cleaning the pavilion for, a number of years, the only time the car park was full was when there was cricket on. And there's no way that even the wildflower meadow would have helped with that, with so many cars. So, I don't see the reason for expanding it and getting rid of something that you obviously felt at the time in your heart was a good thing to do. And then you're just trashing it for a car park. But surely we need to be more environmentally friendly these days. And also, I know that the young people see to success really did loads of work down there, with Jackie, buries them in from Tisbury and Linton. And you're saying to them, well, that's a waste of time, we're going to have cars.
Right, thank you for those comments.
Thank you.
Duly noted. Mr. Butler, are you next?
London, councillors, good evening. My name is Trevor Mitchell, and I live in Castle Lane. I'd like to enlarge on what the ladies have already said about the wildflower meadow and the ecological impact. Firstly, I would like to cover environmental issues. There's so far been no indication from Wilton Council as to their support for car share for all sports players who use the pavilion and the recreation ground, rugby, cricket, football, whatever it's going to be. That's a national policy, and I would think that there should be more encouragement for car share to take place. What is the environmental impact on the loss of wild habitat in that meadow? Has professional ecological advice been sought? That meadow is a natural soakaway and assists carbon capture, which has been alluded to already. If it is moved to where it would be located, who will maintain it, and how long will it take to establish? I speak on occasion to members of the football and cricket club, and it's interesting what they say sometimes. It appears that they were approached and asked the question, would you like additional car parking spaces in Castle Meadow? Of course, the answer is going to be, the football club, I understand, yes. But it wasn't the other way around. It wasn't as if the football club approached the council in the first instance and said, can we have more space, please? What is the additional cost of any additional parking spaces once the meadow has been destroyed? Has consideration been given to using the concrete pad that used to be the coach works? This will provide more parking spaces than planned for the pavilion and at far less cost. The area is a shabby eyesore, as EV Nation Limited has withdrawn its planning applications, is likely to remain as such. Flood issues, on top of all our minds, I suspect. What is the impact of flood risk on the bungalows? Heavy rain on an impervious layer will sweep surface water directly onto numbers 1, 2 and 3 Castle Keep, together with Wiley Terrace. What drainage plans will be put in place to mitigate this factor? What is the soakaway factor of a permeable tarmac surface compared to the existing gravel surface? Now I'll refer to current regulation, and council will be mindful of many of these. A tarmac car park can be installed, but, as I quote, standard permitted development rights that normally allow hard surface installations are heavily restricted or removed in protected areas to preserve local character. Can the council assure local residents that a black tarmac installation is in keeping with local character? Traditional non-permeable tarmac requires improved sustainable drainage solutions so that runoff water does not flood public pavements or roads, a stress that also applies to residential buildings. We are in a conservation area. Does Wilton Town Council take the view that it is important that any new surface should be visually sympathetic to the surrounding area? If external consultants are and will be engaged to carry out assessments on the car park, will local residents be given copies of their reports? The lady has already mentioned this. In summary, Madam Deputy Mayor, the concerns that this extended tarmac area, resulting in the loss of an environmental area, will be firstly, flood risk to neighbouring properties, be unsympathetic to the local environment, destroy the ecological aspects of the meadow, be an unnecessary waste of taxpayers' money paid already by Wilton residents, bearing in mind that expenses have been incurred already on the existing meadow. And finally, local residents do look forward very much to engaging with the council in a future meeting on this matter. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Butcher. Just a couple of things I'll pick up on that specifically, and thank you for the list of specific things. Most of what you said is indeed has been and will continue to be discussed in the committee. In terms of you talked about tarmac, for example, there is as yet no final decision on the material for the surfacing of the car park. Yes, that's been mentioned, but other options have also been mentioned. We're still in discussions with the contractor about that. You mentioned potential flooding, and on the agenda tonight, you may have noticed that we are intending to get a flood risk assessment done, and councillors will be asked to approve the recommended contractor for that. And in the material for that, the proposed contractor does talk about offering discussion and advice, and advice to various different materials, etc. So and the other thing I wrote down was basically this debate is still ongoing in committee, and none of these decisions have been, and I think almost everything you said is on the list of things to be discussed. So please.
Just to add on one further point as well, is once the project group has worked with the contractor and pretty much got to a point where the final design is virtually there, then the next step is to do the resident engagement for the properties in the surrounding area, so that there's an opportunity for residents to give constructive feedback on the plans that have been developed in consultation with the contractor, who's the expert in his field.
Will there be a public meeting on this though? That's what people have been asking for. I don't know. That's for the committee to discuss. I mean, I was on the working group last week, and everyone except me recommends to destroy the wildflower patch and not replace it.
Can I dispute that because I wasn't actually there?
Well, you weren't there. Everyone, you weren't there. I was there. Yeah. But I mean, everyone, and as the councillor said, there's a majority on that working group, so it looks like the will of the council is to destroy it.
Okay, this isn't the moment to be discussing the meadow specifically. We're inviting we're not debating that right now. In terms of whether or not there'll be a public meeting, that is something that's.
So once the item is on the agenda, that will be the opportunity for the council to have their say. And of course, we are doing the resident engagement with those that live in the facility.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not going to have one design.
Right. Thank you very much. Who would next like to say, moving along the road, please? Who would next like to say something? Hello.
Hello, I'm Beth Blackford-Hull. I've got a vested interest in looking after the wild patch. I helped to plant it and I helped to maintain it right up until the time when my husband had his accident. It was quite difficult, but I'm available now to help with the wildlife meadow. What I'm concerned about is that I've heard rumours about all sorts of things that were going to happen to the meadow. I want to know about it because I want to have my say, but I'm here today because of rumours, and I really want a meeting for everybody in Wilton can attend. So can the council assure us that this will happen?
Firstly, what I'd say, what I'd like to say about in response to your comment about rumours, we all know they start often just because people would like to start a conversation. And as we've emphasised many times, they are just rumours at the moment because no decisions are made. So yes, people talk about stuff and they put stuff on social media and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, no decisions are made. So
But it does appear that things are quite well advanced. And I want to have my say in it.
okay,
I spent quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
I know lots of people spent a lot more time than I did on it.
I think the residents are saying before we make a final decision at full council, can we have a public meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Every council meeting is a public meeting.
Yes.
So it's not on the agenda, so.
No, I don't,
How do we
because-
know when to turn it up?
because, yeah, so the process we're using is that all sorts of things get discussed at the committee level, because it would be impossible to discuss the kind of level of detail required in a room like this. That's the purpose of the committee. But then, when the committee's reached a point where it wants to bring its recommendations to council, the council then debate it, and by all means, like now, public can come and, because then it'll be on the agenda, the public can see what the committee's recommend. And when I say recommend, it doesn't necessarily, the councillors may reject that recommendation and it may have to go back for further consideration. But when it's on the agenda, please do come, having read what's on the agenda, and say what you'd like to say at that point.
Am I right that if 6 people request a meeting, you can have one? 6 members of the public write in and request a meeting, is that correct?
And there is something that's known as a parish poll, yes.
So that's what we need, 6 people to get together, somebody write the letter, 6 people sign it and ask for one.
Can I just ask what you hope that would achieve, which is different from when this item appears on the agenda?
Because that's what people want.
But they can come to the meeting like
Because
this.
that's not what they asked for. People have asked for a meeting.
Just one thing, can I just interject slightly? There's 2 differences here. One is, 1 minute you're asking for a public meeting, which is fine. And the next minute you're asking for another meeting to discuss the application when it comes forward, when it's already going to come on the agenda anyway. So you're asking 2 meetings to have the same discussion.
That's what's confusing me slightly.
So yeah, one thing is to have a meeting, calling a full council meeting. The other one is to have a public consultation meeting. They are 2 different things.
When it's on an ordinary council meeting, people only get 3 minutes and people might have a lot more to say about it.
I do believe we've afforded people longer than 3 minutes tonight, and I'm sure we would do the same at that
We
meeting.
can't guarantee.
Okay, well, thank you for your comments about the possibility of having a public meeting. We will ask the committee to decide whether or not.
Well,
The committee can't decide.
No, sorry, the committee to debate whether or not they think that is something we should have and bring it to full council to see what full council think. Right?
Should the drawing not be seen by the public?
Hang on a minute, can we,
Yeah, but before
this is public questions.
I know, but.
Right.
The plans,
Shall we,
these.
shall we move on?
They haven't been finalised yet.
No, they're not finalised yet. Can we move on to the next person who would like to say something, please? I think it's a different subject, isn't it, sir?
Yes,
please.
as everybody here is probably aware of the traffic lights missing out here. I would like to know what's being done about it, because I've actually witnessed 2 very near incidents that could have potentially caused people harm. Whether that's putting the lights back up or getting a temporary light put there, because it's very difficult when you're coming through here to see, and before long I can see somebody being seriously hurt. And I don't think anybody wants to see that.
No. Okay, thank you very much for bringing that to us. It has been reported several times, I believe, initially by Councillor Church, who perhaps not witnessed it, but was immediately aware that it had happened. And I know there is some discussion on social media about it as well. So it has been reported. And Wilton Town Council does its best to chase that up where possible. I'm sure everybody agrees with what you've just said about the dangers that are there now. And I think that's the best we can do, isn't it? To keep I think we are all as concerned as you So thank you for highlighting that at tonight's meeting.
But the last thing I want to see is somebody get injured, and that's going to happen very shortly, the way things are going. Because people that are not in this area and just driving through, they're not aware of it. Locals are aware of it, so you're taking that in mind when you're coming through there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that just use this as to come through.
Yeah.
And the excessive speed that they're coming through does not help the situation. And the last thing I want to see is somebody be seriously injured when something quite easily can be done. When they're digging a hole, they can put a traffic light up.
Okay.
So why can't they put a traffic light up there?
The town clerk would like to say something.
I'm just conscious it's 7:20, so you need to vote to extend the public session if that's what you want to do.
Will there are more questions here? Yeah, okay, let's, can I have someone propose to extend the public session by?
Extend the public session by 10 minutes.
10 minutes, thank you, a seconder.
Yeah.
All in favour? Thank you. Thank you for those comments about traffic lights. Can we take our next question?
Can I just make a point on that?
Right.
50 minutes. I think it's something, and I strongly agree with the gentleman that's raised that, because it is a potential problem. Because anybody coming from Salisbury, if they don't know the area, as far as they can say, there are no traffic lights until they hit the actual junction. So when you come through, you could potentially be violating the code of conduct on, well, no, you wouldn't.
The yellow box.
Because you should only enter the yellow box when your exit is clear. But that does cause consternation, because you don't know whether the traffic lights are red until you're actually in the box.
You're so close, yes.
So it is a problem. And I would just like to ask if it's possible that the council could write a letter to the council and Councillor Church, just to see if we progress this further. It's a matter as soon as possible.
Do you think somebody on our team would be able to try and chase that up?
So it has been reported officially to my Wilts via the correct reporting procedure, but we've also brought it to the senior highways attention him. And he has reassured us that that matter is in hand. So we are continuing to chase it.
Thank you. Who's next, please? Yes, sir. Who's next, please? Anybody on the last two seats there, Madam? Would you like to say something?
I'm as a resident.
Sorry, just the members of the public behind you.
Yeah, I'm as a resident. I would like to say what I'm saying as a
Right,
resident.
can I just check the two members of the public behind you?
Okay.
Four members of the public behind you. Yes, please.
Just give our quarterly update on entry and space. I mean, Wilton and what we've up to over the last 4 or 5 months. So I work with helping service leavers transition to this crazy world called civilian continues. Lots of visits to welfare officers who went to help charities and lots of involvement with COBSIO, who are the Confederation of Military Charities, to attempt to build some entry and spaces also further around the country, focusing in the south to start with. So some good news on that. A couple of announcements to make. One should be going on social media tomorrow. The Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust have given us a grant of around £500,000 to turn 5 of our flats into more accessible flats. So we have 2 disabled flats that is the full wetlands. They've awarded us funding to change 5 more flats into accessible flats, as well as relocate our 2 gyms. So we have a weight gym and a CV gym that was donated during COVID that are, you know, all heavily used, but the Armed Forces Covenant Trust have actually trained for us to repurpose an area under the building and turn it into a proper gym with lighting, showers, and everything else, and to make that a bit more accessible. And on top of the work we've been doing around employment with Wilton Council, which appreciate it. This is contract's just been signed, but we've been given the grant from Wiltshire Council under the Crisis and Relief Funds to finally replace our dedicated personal development manager and employment advisor, and so that will be happening again in the building. We hope from the 1st of September to get contracts. So lots of things going on, and we've just had our 5th resident move out onto their own mortgage, which when we started was almost unthinkable. You know, so we're really getting the guys and girls into the building, trying to teach them how to be in Civic, after being left for 13 years. I'm not sure I know what that is still. You know, getting them into the employment and getting them the foundational skills that military service doesn't take from you, but you don't get because you learn periods when you join. So it's a really successful times and periods. We've got an event on the 10th of September, which we are hoping will be attended by Invictus Games as well. That's mainly for our welfare referrers and people like that. But if anyone is free on the 10th of September and you want to pop up for a coffee, and my door's always open. I might be walking along on the phone on the front all the time. But if anyone is up in Wilton and they want to pop in and see what we do and how we do it, you know, I'm Kenny, come and give me a shout. I'll always make you a coffee and give you a kind of best brief what I can and what we're trying to achieve. Sometimes it is difficult, but we are being extremely successful in what we do.
Thank you.
So much traffic light, because I've been living in Wilton, fully agree. You can't see the red light coming in. If you cut the branches back from the tree on the right to make that red light a bit more visible, it might be a quick, I know, look, the light needs fixing, but it is dangerous to me. You cannot see when that light is in. It's something from my memory, I think it's some branches are covering it. But if you could make some temporary amendments to that tree, you will visualise that red light on the right hand side. I mean, you can't see.
Okay.
We're going to see by which we get to probably.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on the work that's the things that are happening up there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's trying, it's definitely trying.
Yeah.
Do we have anybody online with questions?
No.
No. Okay. Councillor Boyd, you wanted to say something?
Thank you. Yes. This isn't written by AI, just sure. I just wanted to restate something simply involving accessibility. The council voted not to use the council chambers because the stairlift is decommissioned and uninsured. It is not accessible. My question on Facebook, advertising the 2 Mayor's talk, how can wheelchair users access this talk, which I posted as a resident, not in my capacity as a councillor, was only reflecting the decision we already made and the public knew about. The WhatsApp responses I received were personal and disproportionate, telling me I went against the code of conduct and the civility and respect code. I felt bullied. It's not acceptable to criticize me for upholding a council vote for raising accessibility concerns that affect disabled residents. I expect respectful communication going forward via email from the Mayor, Deputy Mayor and my colleagues. I will continue to raise accessibility issues whenever they arise, which as a resident and disabled person is the right thing to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Do any of the councillors have any comments or questions? Oh, hello, sorry, in this corner.
Yeah, okay. Reiterating every single thing about the trees and the tree traffic lights.
Yeah.
Coming through in the car, I've been really sorry, as a pedestrian again. People are either not seeing or are completely ignoring the red light and just piling on through, especially today when traffic's as bad as it was. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, Scarecrow Trail possibly in October from the Wilton Indies.
Say that again. Did I?
Scarecrow Trail. Wilton Indies are arranging a Scarecrow Trail in October. I'm mentioning it now so that someone can remind me in September and
Good day.
October for the day.
Thank you.
Can I
Okay.
just say something? Following on from Alex Boyd's, is the ramp being made for accessing the toilet? Are we having a toilet break today? Because we did vote on that last time that a ramp was going to be made. It's not just for Alex, it's for any member of the public, obviously. So have we had an OT come and look at the steps and design a ramp, or is someone already making a ramp?
Right, well, cool.
So in terms of your questions, there was a further update with Councillor Boyd before this meeting, because although there was a recommendation for a ramp which is outside, there was a further assessment needed because of the camber. The height of the curb was not compliant with the manufacturer's guidelines. So Councillor Boyd and I have met. We've got a plan in place and we are going to be touching base again tomorrow. So that is all in hand.
We don't have to have a professional looking at it, occupational therapist for the ramps
So
inside.
I'm in consultation with Wiltshire Council Highways. They've been very supportive.
No, I mean the toilets, that's not highways, is it?
So
Because it's not our-
Councillor Boyd and I, we've had some time together and we've got a plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. That concludes the public questions section. Thank you, everybody, for coming to say what you wanted to say. Okay, so, absences, apologies, please. We just have apologies from Councillor Allison. And everybody else is here, yeah?
Yep.
So do we have any declarations of interest, please?
No declarations have been submitted beforehand.
Does anybody have any declarations of interest to? No, let's just take the forward one.
Just know them now. So yeah, we do.
Sorry, I'll get back.
You put a declaration, don't you?
No, I don't. No, sorry, I'm not true.
Signing about. Nothing.
Okay, so, thank you. Minutes of the meeting held 13th of July. I take it you've all had a chance to look at those. A proposal that it be accepted. Thank you, Councillor Matthews. A seconder. Thank you, Councillor Ditton. Are we all in favour?
Sorry, can you put your hands up?
Everybody, I'm abstaining because I wasn't there. So it's carried. Yes.
Nothing on that.
Okay, to receive reports from full council. Mayor's report, there isn't really one. As you know, he participated in the carnival procession and attending the carnival stand and was interviewed by On Stop Radio. I'm sorry I wasn't there, but for me, thank you to everybody who was involved with that, councillors and also members of staff who were involved with the council stand on the day. I believe it was a very well attended stand and there's lots of interesting discussions had. So thank you to everybody involved. Councillor Church isn't here. Has she submitted a report of any?
She hasn't, no.
Okay.
We were expecting her this evening.
Okay.
Have a look.
Oh,
It's got his hand up.
Oh, so I'm not used to.
on the Civic report, just to say with my carnival hat on that we had a very successful day. We raised around £5,700
Wow.
after all the expenses. We're still struggling. Well, we decided on which charities we're going to give the money to this year, but we will not be. Financially, we are not going to give all that money away because the charities that we're going to look at don't require as much money as we would quite hope. So we're retaining some back for next year. But one of the big things is, if there are any charities out there that want money from the carnival committee, we will be there. Please contact us when we go ahead. Because,
Okay.
One of the things we will do with the additional funds is we'll make it bigger and better every year. So whilst we'll give back to the charity, we are also trying to reinvest it into providing them further income. So thank you everybody for it.
Well, congratulations to the organisers because I know it's a huge undertaking and that's a fantastic sum to raise. So congratulations to everybody.
I'll pass that on.
Any other?
Would I?
Yes, please.
Would I just say, Peter, the pantry is looking for funding because they are wanting to open up here in Salisbury. It is not for families who have not any money or whatever. It's simply repurposing food. What?
There's the pantry anyway.
Yeah.
This year.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Wasn't that on the agenda? And then we can discuss it.
Yeah.
Grant,
No,
yeah, and we postponed it.
it's different. This is the council. This is the carnival that Alex will be.
Yeah, but I mean,
I can
Tax
provide,
But yeah, they can also go through that.
I can provide an update on that. if you want me to.
Okay. Thank you.
So you'll be aware, I think it was probably June time when the pantry put in a request for some grant funding, but it was deferred because their governance wasn't as it needs to be. They're in the process of recruiting another trustee. So as soon as their application is ready to bring back to council, then that will happen.
Okay, thank you.
I could just add to that as well. Which is also just sort of jogged the memory. You remember, and Charlotte and several other members, and we remember years ago we were talking about having a community fridge on Wilton.
Mm,
So that was discussed, and it may be something we can consider when we're looking at the refurbishing of the council office. Because things have changed since that, and also our plans may change in the future, and it may be that's more of a viable
okay,
thing to think about. So just
thank you.
for note.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 5, which is the finances. We've got a year-to-date report, summary reports and payments. We've got the monthly report, got the payment list to the value of 30,154 and 2 pence. And to note also that the separate payment for RE Hayes to the sum of 15,818.86 will need our specific approval, and this is half because it's a payment exceeding £5,000. Note this invoice represents 50% of the total works. The balance will be with us later. So Councillor Ditton reviews the bank rec. Have you been able to do that yet?
I have, yes, it's all completely signed off for July.
Fantastic.
So that was all.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. So we receive and note those documents that I just read out. We need to resolve to ratify the payments for the value of 30,154 and 2 pence. May I have a proposer for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Ditton. Seconder, Councillor Forbes. And all in favour? Thank you. Unanimous? Unanimous. We need to resolve to approve the payment to RE Hayes Limited to the sum of 15,818 and 86, representing 50%. As detailed there. May I have a proposer for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Edge. And who's seconding? Councillor Matthews. Thank you. All in favour? 2, 3. All looks unanimous. Thank you. That's all on that, isn't it? Yes. Okay, item number 6. Planning applications.
Can I just mention something here? So you'll be aware the agenda was published last Tuesday, and on Friday we had the Wilton Town Council public toilets application hit our inbox. So whilst it's not in your report, I just want to understand if the position has changed, because it would be good just to submit a proposal or based on what your feedback is this evening. Let Wiltshire Council know the position of the council's application. So it's a bit of a bizarre one, but just wanted to acknowledge that that has been received.
I think there are 2 issues there. One is the fact that if we don't, as long as there was no discernible changes to our recommendation last time, we actually recommend to go ahead with that.
Yeah.
Albeit it's not officially on the agenda, but by not being on the agenda, it will come out and people will miss the deadline for submission afterwards.
Correct.
And it would be prudent to give members the opportunity to, if they've suddenly thought of something they wanted to, but hopefully to agree.
The final design has all been signed off.
Yeah.
It's just the contractual appointment this evening.
Are we all happy then that the planning application for our public toilets is now in the hands of Wiltshire Council and we still support it?
We still support.
And you're saying it's just gone in? So I'm confused.
No,
It went in 2 weeks ago, but there were 2 issues with scaling issues on the plan, so that's been resubmitted. So it's in the machine now, so it's being processed.
okay, do you need a councillor propose that we continue with that? Is that what you need?
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Willock. We're all in favour to carry on with that. Yes, thank you very much. So the trees at Pembroke Court. Would you like to say anything about that?
Recommend approval.
Thank you. Seconder? Thank you, Councillor Ditton. All in favour? Yeah, thank you. We'll just move swiftly on with these because they're.
Can I just make a suggestion? You might, because the next ones are all our tree works, you might want to do that en bloc.
Okay, so we've got St Mary's Church, various trees. I'm not going to read them out. You've got it there. Minster Street, quite a few tree works there. Has anybody got any questions or comments about any of those?
That's true.
Pardon?
And South Street.
As it, yes,
That's absolutely car park. I mean, it says about dead wood, so obviously, you know, dead wood is a risk to falling on people's heads, so. Be done, doesn't it?
I mean, my general sort of rule of thumb as far as any tree application is that unless it's going to be a removal of the tree entirely, then the fact that most things go because they're recommended by the arboriculturists and all the contracts, aren't they?
And would we agree also, I know it's not us, but the Wilton Shopping Village?
I think we need to take it on separately.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the ones that are ours then, are we happy that we support those? Yeah, so councillors Edge and Willock between them, I'm not sure whose hand went up first, but thank you. The final one then being Wilton Shopping Village, or
Hang on, we need a vote, so you've got a proposal and a second, you now need a vote on the en-bloc decision for the trees.
in favour? In favour, and you?
Thank you.
Thank you, sorry. Wilton Shopping Village, anybody like to say anything about that? It's the building, yeah, of course, that's what it's the building works, the alterations, things like that.
I would recommend approval of that. Deputy Mayor, I've had a look at them and there's nothing greatly that differentiates itself from the original application when it used to be Edinburgh Wooding. It's going to be very much a sort of a shopping mall area. The old shopping, and those of you who don't know, the old Edinburgh shopping mall was very much sort of that type of thing anyway. So I don't think there's any real difference in usage. It's just stylising differences, and I think the facade and the will be an enhancement, and I would recommend that we approve that.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Was that a proposal, councillor Edge? Yes, and seconded by councillor Mathers. Are we all in favour to support this? Yes. Thank you.
So was that everybody?
Yeah, it was, yeah. So we'll move on to item number 7, the toilet refurbishment. So just to remind you, the purpose of this report is that the outcome of the competitive tender process for the public WC refurbishment programme, and to seek council decision on the appointment of a contractor for the works. There's lots of details below, and can I thank the clerk for the extensive amount of information and detail that she's given to us, because that's, and also for councillors Blanford Hull and councillor Harrison, who's doing for me for the work they did in sorting all of this out. Councillor Blanford Hull, you'd like to make a statement?
Yeah, I've got a few words to say on this. We're pleased to report to the council that we've received 6 tenders for refurbishment public toilet in Greyhound Lane. The town clerk and I opened the tenders on Wednesday, the 22nd of July, and carried out an initial review of all the tenders received. The town clerk then analysed each tender in detail and prepared a comprehensive tender analysis, which is linked to the agenda item for your review if required. I have to say at this point that I've never seen an analysis done so well and in so much detail. So it's quite an eye-opener for me. The analysis assessed each tender against price, the contractor's experience of similar work, their proposed methodology, their programme for the works, and their company credentials, including trade associations, membership, and insurance. Each criterion was scored individually, and the tenders were rated accordingly. The analysis showed that one contractor scored significantly higher than the others. This contractor demonstrated a clear understanding of what the town council was trying to achieve and described in detail how they would deliver the project. For these reasons, the working group recommends that the council award the contract to contractee based on the results of the tender analysis.
Thank you. And as I say, the level of detail that you went into and the process, the scoring process, etc. Yes, councillor Farmer.
Yes, I have concerns with this because I did ask the clerk if I could see the 6 tenders. The reason being, we're spending about 100,000 on these 2 toilets. That's a quarter of our annual budget. It's not a small job. And I thought we'd be having an extraordinary meeting to look at them, to be honest, because we used to look at tenders. But I wasn't allowed to see the tenders. So I think I'm going to have to vote against, because we are all liable. This is a good decision. If we haven't seen it, it gives me concerns, because the price is weighted at 40%. And then you look at the company E, which are coming out £16,000 cheaper than all the other companies. So they're going to win, obviously, because the price is the heaviest weighting. They've won on price alone. So my question is, why are they 16,000 less than all the other 5 companies, which have all got prices similar?
Because that's the way they assess the job. Come up with a different opinion. It's as simple as that.
£16,000.
Yeah, well, the only way you're going to get an accurate price to a pro rata is to employ a quantity surveyor to prepare a bill of quantities, and then you can actually see in detail the differences. You will not see it on an open tender like we had for the project.
So they will stick to that price?
Yeah.
That's the price they have quoted, so yes, that will be.
There will be
There's a
adjustments
10%.
to that price, but that will all come for the council's approval.
Thank you. And your comment, I wasn't allowed to see the tenders. The purpose of the committee is to deal with that kind of detail.
But that's only
So-
2 councillors, isn't it, on the committee? So only 2 out of 11 have seen the tenders, yeah?
That is the purpose of the process which this council approved, and I'm not going to have that conversation again. So,
Can we have a recorded vote, please? Yes.
I dare say yes, we do. So we are being asked.
So we have to vote in favour of it.
No. So we'll note the outcome of the tender evaluation process. We will consider the evaluation matrix and supporting tender documentation, which you've all had a chance to do over the last week. We will, it is, as Councillor Blanford-Hull has just said, the committee is recommending company E for the reasons detailed in the documents we've been sent. So who would like to propose that, please? Councillor Blanford-Hull, thank you. Who would like to second? Councillor Ditton, thank you. Oh, sorry, this is mine.
We came up at the same time, but I'm taking preference on names.
Yeah, alphabetical.
A. Seconded by Alexander.
Lovely. Are we all in favour?
So we need a recorded vote.
We need a recorded vote, so keep your hands up. I'm in favour. Do you take names or just numbers?
No, I can take the names. I have to, otherwise I'm going to, yes, put them down. And the other 2?
Against.
Against, okay.
Can I just add for note that the last discussions that we had with the working party, discussed with members of the public that we talked about CCTV as well, covering that area, and just just really to make sure we still go on record that we're looking into that, because we got the permission of Greyhound to actually put on there, but we need a MOU in sector.
Yeah.
Be able to do that, but
So the project group is meeting with the contractor this week and that's on the list.
brilliant, thank you.
Thank you, councillor. So the next thing we need to do is to note the estimated total project cost and allocate up to that amount, 99,075.93, including contingency from NR, E and R to cost code 9005. Noting the budget available is 126,881. So we're noting that. And to delegate authority to the town clerk in consultation with the mayor and a public WC project group to finalise contractual arrangements and project mobilisation following receipt of the required clarification. So do we need a vote on that? Yes, don't we?
So because you've separated it, we need a second vote.
Yeah. So can we have a vote, please, on point E, the delegation?
Delegate authority too.
Thank you. Thank you, councillor Ditton, councillor Forbes. Are we in favour? Sorry, I can't see down there.
No, I'll have to abstain because I got against the vote. I suppose I was against the vote.
Okay,
So forward this.
you're abstaining, councillor Lefeminine, councillor Boyd?
I'm happy for the clerk to take the.
So you're in favour?
What? Yes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for that, and thanks again to the people involved for so much work on that. Item number 8. The village gate. So as you can see there, the purpose of the report is to consider whether Wilton Town Council wishes to fund the replacement of the village gate located at the Wilton boundary on the avenue. There's information there, costings, etc.
Could I just say something?
Yes, please.
Having lived at Wilton Hill for nearly 10 years now, when we first moved in, the gates were still there, and then all of a sudden one day they were gone. And I think where we've given names of fallen soldiers to the roads, these gates should be there because the veterans are there. It makes the place look proud. And I think the gates should be replaced, and we should do our bit as council and help with the monetary.
Can I just double check? And forgive me if I've misunderstood you. We're talking about the white gates on the road as the speed reduction. We are. Yeah.
Oh, no, you I know where you are now. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Initially, I had to read it twice to double check. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So we're talking about the white gates of the glass road.
Yeah.
One of them was knocked over, I believe.
It was,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how long ago.
That's 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, so the clerk has put here the options: Wilton Town Council funding, LHFIG, or do nothing. Would anybody like to make a comment about that?
First of all, yeah.
The next meeting, can you sit in the middle?
Having driven down the avenue the other day, the gate on the right hand side is perfectly visible and looks amazing. The left hand side, you can't see that it's not there until you're pretty much on top of it due to overhanging trees, bushes, etc. So I'm not 100% sure that unless that verge is going to be looked after better, there's any point in us spending £3,000 for a gate that no one sees until they're digged. Potentially,
Okay,
so it's just down the road.
But the one on the other side with
The one on the other side,
leaning.
yes.
If we're going to put in a
Right one.
white new one,
Yeah.
it will show up the other ones.
Yeah.
Councillor Alexander.
I like the gates, they do demarcate, it's sweet, but I think if we could, I propose B where we submit it to LHFIG to perhaps fund it. If it doesn't get funded, then if they reject it, perhaps it comes back to council and we can look at it for next year's budget. But for this year, and I don't think it's untoward to have one there and one not. I don't think we need to remove it. It's not a deal breaker. Once they get into Wilton, you see the wonderful big Wilton house and the wonderfulness of Wilton. The gates are but a mere nothing in their heads. So that's my proposal. Option B, where we ask that LHFIG fund it.
I hear your proposal. Do we have a second for that at the moment? Or would anybody else like to make some other comment?
I would like to make an amendment to that. I would support that with an amendment. Sorry, oh, sorry.
Yeah. I think that gate is important to be replaced because the speed, you see the report every month, what we get from the police, the speed people go down that road and up that road. I would like to think that if the tree is sorted out a bit and the verge, that a new gate would maybe, hopefully, make them think twice.
What would you like to amend?
Well, I was just going to say, I was happy with the proposal up to the point of this year. So I would like the proposal to go ahead with it. We looked to LFIG to go to bear the cost of it. And if they refuse that, then we go ahead and process it ourselves.
And how long does it take for LFIG about? I don't know.
A long time.
To give answers.
A few months.
Would you like to answer that? So the next meeting is in October.
And will that be on there that they make the decision?
If this council resolves that, then it will be on the agenda.
I personally am also picking up on a point made by Councillor Ditton. I think it is really important, no matter who pays for it, there's no point putting it there unless the verge and the shrubbery is maintained. So is there anything we can do to?
That's fine. That's what council by weight anyway, isn't it?
Right. Is there anything we can do to draw to their attention this lack of maintenance and well, what we perceive to be lack of maintenance.
In fairness, I think one of the problems is that because the gate's not there, there is a couple of fallen trees and loose branches, and they haven't bothered to clear it because there's nothing to
Right.
clear it for.
Yeah.
So I think that when
Could
they
you
actually
pass
install
on
it,
a proposal?
In the interest of compromise, which is what we do at this council, I will amend my proposal, which is I propose option B, which is it goes to LFIG. However, should LFIG reject it and Wilton Council have the funds, we can do it this year. Subject to Wiltshire Council cutting the trees and verge as well. Well, it's not really. Don't worry about the Wiltshire Council and trees because we'll get onto them anyway.
Councillor Edge, you said
yeah, I'll
anything?
have it.
Are we in favour?
For us,
Unanimous favour.
know what LHV is.
Okay, it's a couple of minutes to 8, so we'll take our break now. It's a couple of minutes early, but I think you'll find, hopefully you'll agree it's a lot of good
Stopping point.
I shall resume now. Thank you very much. Everybody's back. Thank you.
No.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll move on to item number 9, the council office condition report.
I should say, briefly, it was a very, very, very in-depth
Long
report.
Very.
But
And
then
laid
they
out
have absolutely everything that we need to. So.
Well done to them. Whoever you
Yes.
were, for doing such an in-depth report.
Yes, okay, so we are, does anybody have any other comments, you know, generally about the report, bearing in mind what we've been asked to resolve tonight? Anybody else like to say anything about that report?
Maybe, could I just say I would, if I would really like to be on the project group for this.
We're just going to get to that in one moment, thank you. So initially, we need to formally note the findings of the building condition survey. So we've noted those, yes?
Yeah.
And okay, yeah, so establish a building conditions and accessibility. Can you think of something very good?
Could I just say something?
Please.
Before we go on to the, I don't want to be on the committee, don't worry.
Okay, please. Yes, yes.
Before we go on to the committee,
Right.
the clerk has said it was going to be phase 1 and phase 2, which I don't really understand how that can be, because it's a bit like the car park and compound, and now been put together as one planning application. So the first stage is looking at the damp or whatever in the council offices and what any repairs need doing.
I think the first stage is repairs and maintenance generally.
Right.
But as well as getting the building watertight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't work with that is if we are going to change knock any walls down or, you know, move the stairs. I know you wanted to move your office to the front of the building, perhaps put a new wall up. That obviously has an impact on, you know, do we want to repair that wall if we're knocking it down?
Right, of course, I
Toilets need to be accessible.
I think during the way I see it, during the first phase, the committee will always be mindful of whether or not, you know, work they're proposing would then be still relevant if the use of the building was altered. I know obviously there's a lot of work to be done to the exterior shell. We've got the roof, we've got the gutters, we've got the
Slates,
all sorts of things 40 different with regards to the shell of the building. And yes, I accept they will be mindful of the future uses perhaps, but that conversation is more later on in the next phase. And I would say at this point as well, in my opinion, initially the committee, whoever that be, because this is a long project, 12, 18 months, 2 years. And the committee membership can fluctuate during that time. So we could have certain skills at the beginning and then bring in different skills, different people, different councillors with different experiences or interests or concerns about different elements of the project as it goes along. That's the way I see it. Councillor Didden.
Could I suggest, it's not a proposal, just a suggestion, that we look at it in 2 parts. So we look at it in reactive repair initially, and then reconfigure for the second part once everything's watertight and electrically safe and not damp and not falling down and you know, everything else. Once we've got those C's looked at and we're looking at the internal and the everything else, then we add a second.
Yeah. Does everybody think that's a?
Well, I would never do that with my home.
You wouldn't make it watertight before worrying about what the kitchen's like.
I would plan the whole thing. I would say, do I want a stair lift? Do I need a level access shower?
If water's coming in through the roof, does it matter if?
Well, there is
there
because the report says the
Yeah,
roof.
but that's the point that's being made, is that you do those remedial things. So if you look at your project, you said you can do that. If you've got hole coming through the roof, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to put a new kitchen in here. I'm not going to do that. The water coming in. That's what we're proposing. Well, that's what is the face of it.
Some of the building, the existing roof beams are actually suffering from damp and some of them are rotting away. So they've got to be put right if we do anything else.
I think what we're saying is, in summary, it's prioritising the bits what we need to do to make the building structural safe.
Yeah.
Once that's done, and then because we can't do
the stairs, we can't do the other bits until that bit's done, because otherwise you're peeling the wind if you like.
Yes.
Also, you need to
Teamwork
actually
twice.
budget for all this.
Well,
So who's going to put the budget, if you do the whole thing, including all the refurbishment and the reorganisation?
It's two projects.
How are you going to budget it like that?
It's two
I think
projects.
that's the nail on the head. It's two projects which are which are connected in the middle.
I think that's how I tend to describe it. There is the project in phase one, which is the remedial works, but bearing in mind that phase two, make sure that any work you do that doesn't have implications on what you're proposing. So that's why they do.
So
As far as I'm aware, there are no real structural elements within the ground floor area. I think some of them,
No.
they're not actually.
I think that's an issue anyway.
So it's just
Yeah.
almost like a completely open space if you take
Yeah,
it out. It's all self-supporting with beam structures.
It's only a study between.
That's right. So it won't make any difference to whatever future plans you decide to
I mean,
do.
I was heavily involved in the redevelopment, which was back in 1989.
Okay,
Because that was a spiral staircase going through the.
so we've agreed this is a big project in two distinct phases.
Yeah.
So what we need to do now is to establish a committee,
Project group.
project group. And I think we should focus on members of that project group for the first phase.
Yeah.
So now councillor Blanford have contacted me directly to say he'd be happy to volunteer for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Edge?
Councillor Boyd.
Councillor Edge?
Yes, I did as well. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm happy to call on
well, I am as well, so,
And Alex needs to also put
councillor Boyd as well.
the maintenance side of things, Alex, or do you want to wait for the second part?
I would be happy for all of it. I'll learn on the job, as they say.
Okay, so,
Don't
would
want
it
to
not
get too
be,
big a group now.
yeah, we don't want too big a
Otherwise
group,
we get
that's the only thing.
Committee to get,
Um,
nothing will get decided.
Well, that's what you said about the toilets, wasn't it? You wouldn't let anyone else, you only have two people on the toilet roof.
it needs.
And
If there's ever used the expression, we wouldn't let anyone else, that's unreasonable.
well, I tried to get two other members on the toilet working group and it was refused.
Right.
I understand the previous mayor, when you had to get anything done, you had too many people on committees and nothing got resolved.
Right, so with this project
The
group,
previous mayor was me.
No, before you.
Oh,
just a minute, can I
Go.
recap? Councillor Blanford Hull, councillor Edge, and councillor Boyd, from the start or halfway through? You said from the start, yes? Yes, okay. Those three people, is three enough or should four? I know this holiday, for example, I've been away, so having maybe another person might be useful, so I can volunteer to be number four, maybe I can stand in. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can always have the mayor or deputy as a.
yeah, sure, that used to be.
So should we,
It's the three names, and then if there's a standby, like you said there.
the mayor or deputy could come in as an
That's
doesn't it?
always out of
Keep it short, keep it.
things.
So I'm proposing councillor Fabulous, sorry.
Well, I wonder if there's I wondered when we're going to meet as a council to look at the objectives, what we're trying to achieve.
Can I just establish a committee first?
Yeah,
We
but
just-
I'm not really sure that I want a committee, that's what I'm saying.
We're going to have a committee. Councillor Blanford Hull, a working,
Private committee.
Councillor Blanford Hull, councillor Edge, councillor Boyd. I'm proposing those three people. May I have a seconder, please?
Councillor Williams also has his name in.
Matthew.
Matthew, sorry, Matthew, yeah, still doing it.
Sorry.
Councillor Matthews, those four people, may I have a seconder? Councillor Blanford Hull, thank you. Are we all in favour of those four people?
Who are the four people again, sorry?
Blanford Hull, Edge, Boyd, Matthews. Sorry to address it that
We
way,
have to have.
but that's the way thing. Are we all in agreement?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, councillor Lefemina, sorry, can I go back to what it was he wanted to say?
Well, I'm not very keen on these private meetings when it's obviously going to cost probably more than the toilets to adapt the council offices. So we are looking at the objectives from the beginning, you know. If the cost is huge, do you want to sell it? Do you want to move the offices to be forward facing in a shop? Is it going to be a museum? The clerk keeps suggesting a museum, you know.
Suggesting a museum.
Sorry?
So I keep suggesting a museum.
This will be discussed in that committee.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The objectives need to be looked at by full council.
Yes.
But also the other thing you have to consider, you see, whilst it's going to cost a lot of money, there will be grants available for this the type of work that we're trying to propose because of the building type. So there are grants either through the English Heritage Lottery and it's.
Can I move on, because we still bring up let's go on. Hello. I personally think regardless of whether it's a committee is gonna do what we need to do. Project group is gonna do what we need to do. 11 of us sitting in a room deciding whether we fix the rotting beams in the mayor's chamber or the flashing under the left-hand side roof first. I don't think it's gonna be a productive use of anyone's time.
No.
And to be honest, that group goes away, they put the ideas forward to us, and we all listen to it, and then we say, yes, we agree, or no, we don't. So I don't understand the confusion. You was in the last team doing the toilets, I don't know why. And that ended up with one team.
Back to, you can see the body language of people. By the time it comes back to full council, because there's been so much work done on it, people don't like to say no.
Quite happy to say no. Quite happy to say no.
Well, no one does.
We've got to trust everybody, Maria, that's what I'm trying to say. People have been designated, we've all put our names in the hat to be councillors. So people have volunteered, there's people with, subject matter experts in that area, and they tell us, and we say yes or no, simple as. You are, we all say yes or no. You are our sound proof, you'll say yes, no, I disagree. And there's plenty of us going on there, so.
Thank you, Councillor Willock. I think the majority agree that this process is effective. So we will continue with it. The next item we need to decide is to delegate authority to the town clerk in consultation with the project group to develop the next steps associated with the condition report and report back to council with recommendations for consideration. May I have a proposal for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Ditton. Who's seconding? Councillor Forbes, thank you very much. Are we all in favour of that?
Once again, I have to abstain.
With one abstention, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to item 10. The 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. I'm going to pass to the town clerk on this because I personally was a little bit confused with it, but I think it's turned out to be a lot more simple than we think. So we want an update, please. 1 second. Oh, sorry.
Before I forget.
No.
Okay, so you probably all read your papers, and it's a bit of a tricky one, because when the council resolved to submit the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit at the back end of last year and include the extended part was due to be approved by the Wiltshire Council Cabinet. However, the policy has now changed. So the key difference here is that if the council proceeds with the appeal, which is essentially instead of going to cabinet, then it will progress along that route, and it will mean that will give then Wiltshire Council Highways Office the licence to prepare a detailed cost estimate. So if the council resolves to submit the appeal, then that additional zone will be taken into account. And if that is then approved by Wiltshire Council, then that gives the licence for the highways officer to produce the detailed cost estimate, which will then be brought back to this council for consideration.
So that second bit, the extension, if they approve it and it comes to X amount, we then vote if we want to do that. Will we be liable for the whole of the X?
You will be part of it. You will be liable for the whole cost of the implementation, but Wiltshire Council will pay the cost of the traffic regulation order itself.
And what sort of percentage is that? 50, 80? Sort of.
So the traffic regulation order would be around £3,000. And the rest of the scheme, as it stands at the moment, we think will probably be about 20 to 22.
But is that the whole entirety of it?
Yes.
Okay, but so I'm still slightly confused. The first bit, they are going to pay some of it and we're paying some of it regardless.
No.
No.
So under the old scheme, Wiltshire Council would pay 75% of the implementation cost and Wilton Town Council would pay 25%. So let's just say the scheme costs 20,000 for ease.
100 for ease.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Wiltshire Council would pay 15 and Wilton would pay 5.
Okay.
Under the new scheme, if you submitted the appeal and that appeal was supported, and let's say with the extension, the scheme was going to cost 25,000, then Wiltshire Council would pay the cost of the traffic regulation order, which would be 3,000, and Wilton would pay the 22.
Could we do it that we submit it as it is without asking for the extension, get it, them paying 75, us paying 25?
No, because that's the old policy.
I think
And so we'd have to submit a whole new policy?
No, because you've already submitted the scheme.
Yeah.
I think the bit that's changed isn't what's submitted, it's how much we have to pay regardless. So previously it was 75/25. Now, regardless of whether we resubmit, leave it.
Oh, I
Or
see. So
that
we've decided
we're on
we're actually
that.
going to just resubmit and be in for that 75
No.
amount? No.
You're tonight considering whether you want to submit the appeal, which is the process instead of it going to cabinet.
Yeah.
Once that has been approved or not, as the case may be, if they say no, then it comes back and it's the original scheme. If they say yes, then they will come back and they will then present the total cost for this council to consider.
But whichever way, we pay 100%. The whole 75/25 thing is
Gone now.
Is gone.
What you have to remember, this is a very emotive subject, and there will be, if we line up 100 residents, then 50 residents will be in support and 50 residents won't be, or maybe not.
Hence the need to, whether or not the appeals succeeds, to bring it back to council, because we need a fresh debate. Or maybe some kind of workshop, maybe some kind of, I don't know. But we need a whole fresh debate, because whether we go for the initial approval or an extended version, we will be paying 100%. Councillor Matthews.
Yes, I live at number 71 near the top of Shaftesbury Road. And since it was re-tarmacked, you pull out the gate, the car, you look up the road, nothing. As soon as you pull out, through then there's a car at the backside. They speed down there since it's been tarmacked, so dreadful.
Okay.
And I'm all for
Yeah.
for the 20 miles going up to the boundary.
Thank you. The thing of it is, the clerk needs formal council approval to pursue the appeal.
And if we pursue the appeal and get it, we don't necessarily have to accept it.
Right, because we have to come back and have a whole.
Could we then, in our debate, it's my favourite, Pete, could we defer it to next year when we got a bit more money and implement it with that whole thing from the top of Shaftesbury?
Can I just hear from Peter, from Councillor Edge?
Yeah, I'm still confused.com in as much as we're putting an appeal against the extended part, but is there well, already agreed amount that they would do? Will they do North Street and South Street standard? And we're looking at actually appealing the extension to go up Shaftesbury Road. So what I would like to know is, if we don't appeal, what would we end up with as a 20-mile-an-hour zone?
So the original,
Yes.
what they said
Which is
back in.
just South Street.
So we can pass this round. Basically, the recommendation from Wiltshire Council covers the red proposed scheme area, and the blue is the extension up the A30 and Shaftesbury Road to the Wilton Town boundary.
Oh, right, so let's go, okay, so it's from the roundabout on the way up.
Yeah.
Right, okay, that's fine, I know where we are now.
Just to keep it as straightforward as possible. As I say, the clerk needs council approval to go for the appeal to get the extended bids, which actually the only cost to us doing that is the clerk's time in filling out the form. Okay.
Propose we just task the clerk with filling
Okay, so depending on the result of the appeal, it'll either be declined and we end up with plan A.
Yeah.
Or to be approved and we've got plan B, but whichever way, we will be paying 100%. So we'll need to bring it back to council and have a debate about it.
One quick question. If it gets approved for A and B, or B, which includes A, could we then just go with A, depending on the price?
Oh, yes, that
Okay.
is the debate to be had. Yes, that is the debate to be had. So who would like to make a proposal, please?
I think it's my proposal.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Councillor Boyd.
I'll second it.
Could you just confirm what your proposal was?
Yes, my proposal is that the clerk takes forward the appeal.
Right. Okay, good. And Councillor Willock seconded. Are we all in favour? No, okay, so there's eight in favour. Yes, 8 in favour. And 2 here, what, against or abstain? Against, against. You don't want
You don't want that happening.
You don't want it to go.
Shaftesbury Road.
I don't want it to go ahead, but you two, we just voted with me.
This is the appeal.
Yes.
This is just the.
So you don't, you both now have voted, so you do not want me to submit an appeal.
But it's carried anyway, so it's carried.
Yeah, I know, but
How come, Pete?
Okay.
Was it interest?
I think it's total waste of public funding money.
Or even for A.
I have a problem with anyway, because I don't have a problem with 20 mile zones, but I'm happy that we go with the A as standard, because that doesn't cost us very little. But to have that short extension is not worth it.
It would still cost you on A because the policy's.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It might be for the people of Shaftesbury Road whose cars get hit a lot.
Yeah, well, my father lives up Shaftesbury Road.
Sorry?
My father lives up Shaftesbury Road.
We'll move on, please.
That's,
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
that's-
you, everybody. We'll move on to item 11, please, if we could. National emergency briefing. Have you had a chance to look at the website for this? Honestly, no.
Is this, question, is this the one that's been, that was held and sorted last week or whatever it was?
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's the same one.
it's shown twice at all.
So can I just read something out? This just gives you a bit more context. So the People's Emergency Briefing, known as PEB, in a national public information film and screening initiative arising from the National Emergency Briefing. It aims to help residents and decision makers understand the practical UK risks from climate and nature breakdown, including impacts on food, health, infrastructure, the economy and security, while encouraging constructive local discussion about responses. It's delivered through local screenings, usually followed by facilitated discussion, and is relevant to councils as a way to support community awareness, resilience planning, environmental engagement and dialogue with local representatives. So the screenings are happening up and down the country. I went on a briefing 2 weeks ago with the Wiltshire Association of Local Councils, hence why it's on the agenda tonight. There have been local screenings at Salisbury, and I think there's a couple of villages around as well that also held screenings.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just a bit of application on that, because initially I thought, oh, well, hang on a minute, there's 3 or 4 in Salisbury, but leading to the feedback that that people have gone to that, I think there is a need that we ought to have one in Wilton. And I would suggest we try and use the one for level 4.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that'd be the perfect venue for that.
Can I say my personal opinion on this? I looked at the website and the map, and yes, indeed, there are some future ones coming up as well in the area. What bothers me bothers is the wrong word. I would question if town council is the right place for this, because it is a group of independent people gathering together whose aim it is to get a film on all channels of the telly at the same time, led by the Prime Minister, sort of COVID style presentation of the film. I watched the trailer of the film and was quite taken aback at how alarmist it is. And it used characters in the film that I saw Chris Packham, I saw Deborah Meaden, and I saw another lady who I know is famous, but I can't think who she is. And some of the people in the film were using vocabulary like "I am terrified" and "I am terrified for my grandchildren," and I found it very alarmist. And these are individual campaigners basically, and that's absolutely fine. Campaigning, great. But my personal concern is that Wilton Town Council attaches itself to this presentation. And my view is it belongs with a special interest group, as we can see from the presentations that have already happened. There's been some at Langford Lakes, there's been Salisbury Extinction Rebellion have done one, etc.
Would you propose Farmac then? Because obviously that's environmental flooding and.
My personal opinion, I think that perhaps Farmac should be made aware of this, and perhaps that group should decide. But that's just my view. Would anybody else like to say anything? Yes, Councillor O'Fallon.
I think it should be done in conjunction with other groups like the Rotary and, get a lot of groups together. Otherwise you're preaching to the converted, like myself who studied climate change in the 1980s. I don't think it's alarmist. It's scientists, economists. It's quite practical actually. And because
sorry.
I've only seen the introduction by Chris Packham and the economists.
Yes, okay.
Because there's different speakers. I think they do 10 minutes each, and it only lasts about 50 minutes. And then the idea is to have a debate afterwards. I think that's what they did at Salisbury.
Yeah.
But if you're not careful, like if you have Extinction Rebellion, you're preaching to people who are already converted to the environmental cause. They already know we've lost 60 to 70% of our insects,
Right.
They know that flooding and drought is a problem.
Right.
But you want to really get the people from other groups. And I think it's something you could do as a community, getting people together with town council, because it'd be nice to consult and discuss with other groups.
Thank you. Has anybody else got anything they'd like to say?
So they do ask for you to ask your MP, and then if you don't, or if he doesn't, she doesn't attend, there's that open chair policy. It has a slight edge of witch hunt to it. But how else do we draw attention is a question. But the word I'm terrified, it's all marketing language. It's all there to invoke emotions and ramp things up.
I mean,
I like Councillor Lefemina's idea of many other groups, because then it shows a collective. But I do like your idea. I don't think Wilton should stand directly behind it, because that's in our totality. We stand for the environment without a doubt, but I personally love trees, etc. But I don't want to be part of a alarmist group. But they may argue, sorry, Councillor, Madam Chair, they may argue, how else do you get your point across? And I'll say, well, I don't know.
I mean, what we can do, then when we're coming in here, is the list of venues is on public display, so we can signpost people to those that are already holding events. If people then wanted to go to those, then they can.
Yeah.
Also, signpost, that's easy, isn't it? Takes the pressure off us.
Yeah, we seem to be supporting in that, as we would alert to anything.
Would anybody like to make a proposal, please?
I propose that we use it as a signpost platform rather than ownership.
I second.
Thank you. So can I just clarify my understanding of your proposal, where it's for the office to keep this information and respond to inquiries should they get? Is that when you say use it as a signpost? Is that what you mean?
Mm.
We can put it on our website as well. Okay. Yeah, we can share it on social media. Okay.
Yeah.
But we should take ownership of that.
Yeah. Is that's in line with your proposal and your second? Is it?
Yeah.
Can we vote on that in favour of that?
Just say something.
We'll just vote on this, if we may. Are we in favour of the proposal that we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you. 8. Councillor Lefemina, no?
No, I just think it's councillors very much should see this, because they are happy to, so far what I can hear, to destroy wildflowers and grassland. And encourage, but you're not in the group that I was in, and encourage more car usage. And those are the two things that we really need to, those are two of many things we need to consider, and raising awareness.
Councillors all now know where to find the information, and perhaps they will indeed attend one of the local screenings that's going to take place. Can I just clarify, Councillor Boyd, is your vote on that?
No, I vote.
Are you against?
Yes.
That's 2 against.
I didn't vote against.
No.
That's all.
No, 2 against and 8 in favour.
2 against.
Yeah, no. Thank you for that. We'll move on to the next item, which is I now realise why there's a little cheer in the Christmas lights. Now, I don't think there's anything actually to vote to resolve, but we'd love to hear an update on Councillor Dutton, please. Oh, why me? Because I chaired.
So there's been a bit of back and forth with Wiltshire Council and the provider. Due to not being allowed to have the freestanding cones and the tree wraps, we've had to revise the offering, with the majority of the lighting being moved into the churchyard. Sorry, yes, with the majority of that lighting being moved into the churchyard, instead of tree branch wrapping in the marketplace, having little twinkly stars, same as having on the wall of St Mary's. Slight change in photo booth to make it slightly more elegant rather than bright green and wreathy. And some additional little kind of 3D elements. Plus the uplighters in the red cedar being in for a 4-year period, so we would purchase those instead of hiring them on a rolling basis. They would be installed by the contractor, close them at a previous meeting, and then it would be down to the council to keep up to go with those if they're repairs if needed and such. But the general big light bit would be installed and removed every year, 4-year period, for the number 13,302-ish. It's like a few months. Okay, so yes, thank you.
Councillor Ditton,
Do you got me?
yeah, the 3 trees here,
Uh-huh.
are we getting the bits on top?
The
Or is it just stars?
just twinkles.
Like
So-
a
Yeah,
line of twinklies or,
so like strategically placed twinklies.
so it's
So they
not
won't let us wrap them.
wrap the trunks or wrap the top or the whole lot?
Any of it.
But we used to wrap it.
Top.
No.
Possibly change it.
Well, we used to put the top on, but it was a whole string of lights.
Lovely, wasn't it? No, it's just.
Is that council?
Twinklies.
Wilton Council?
When we used to do it before, they should end, did they?
No.
But they also didn't complain about the baskets. Trees being looked after. Things. And that's which they changed policy, resulting in the change is tree travel to the lights. So yeah, we cannot have freestanding in the market square. We cannot have tree wrapping in the market square. Therefore, we must only have tree twinkling in the market square.
And the motifs on the
And the motifs on the lamppost. Have they been approved for that? Definitely. No. Okay. And hopefully motifs on the lampposts.
Did I
If
read
they get
stars
approved.
on this big cedar tree? I know that would be a big
Yes.
popular thing with the
Yes.
public.
Yeah.
But we are
That
having
is- that is
stars.
part of it, yes.
Start sound like lighters as well, yeah.
Yeah. So the stars on the cedar, the trees around the edge of St Mary's, the marketplace, icicle lights on the Baptist, photo frame, cone tree, bits in the market, in the 3D, in the churchyard, not in the 3D, in the churchyard. And then up there, they're all annual rent, and then the uplighters in red cedar are purchased. So we still get the uplighters, we get twinkly stars everywhere. And we hopefully get lamp motifs.
So the total cost this year is what?
The total cost for this year, as stated in the agenda plan, is £20,444, based on 4-year hire programme, annual cost of £13,332, and the rest of the downlighters purchase in 1-year installation, 7,112. Those lighters then belong to us, and the ongoing costs are borne by us. And then thereafter, the next 3 years, the annual cost of the lighting programme would be the 13,332.
Well, thank you to you and your committee for juggling
Challenge.
yes, you know, budgets and suppliers and Wilton Council, and it's been a bit of a jigsaw, but thank you very much to the committee for the work that's been put into that.
We've made decisions and that's changed the next day.
Yeah. Okay, so we've done what the clerks asked us to do. We've received and noted the update and the cost of proposal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just one comment, can I make another comment, please, about the photo frame? It says like having it near the arch. Now that beautiful ruins of the church, it's so lovely when it's just floodlit, you know, and it has uplighters and things on it. could the photo frame not be near the arch? Could it be at either end of the pathway or something? So it's in the darker areas away from the arch?
I'm gonna go with personally no, based on having people standing in it potentially to take photos and take photos of it being stood right next to the road.
I see.
But it can, the exact placement is still in.
It's fluid.
Yeah.
Be away from the arch, couldn't it?
It's still in.
Can I just add one thing as well? So taking on board the feedback from the project group when we did the site visit a couple of weeks ago, we've got the electrician coming out and doing the testing on all of the ground level floodlights.
That's right, yeah.
So that will also add to the whole ambiance of that area. That's being done tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm mindful of the time, so we'll keep moving.
And there is also the event cost noting.
Yeah.
On for the contingency.
Everybody happy with that? Thank you. Councillor Devon. So,
No, we're just noting.
Yeah, but you still need to resolve to note.
Okay, we resolved to note. You proposing? I propose.
sorry, that's my focus. I went through roll. Fine.
Well, second.
So I thought note was no, I don't know note. Vote note.
Second.
Are we all in favour? Thank you. I think. So item 13 then is the Clerks Report. I'll ask you to take us through this, please, Bree.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go through any detail here. So the first section of the report is really information. So you'll be aware that we have the whole communication between the Environment Agency and Natural England about the Hemlock Water drop port. At the moment, we have had responses back from the environment, from Natural England, who have said that obviously it's within the SSI boundary, within the river. It's not recommended for removal because there's a lot of wildlife rely on that that native species. We've got to take a cautious and responsible approach to how this is managed. So I think it just needs a bit more thought, and it would be good to get the views of the council in terms of any potential next steps. In terms of the signage, Neil and I are working on the signage update, so we will include these species in the signage so we can alert residents to these native species being present in the parks, which covers us. We were going to put some temporary signage up as well, just in the meantime until that other signage is rolled out. So it's a natural part of life, and basically as long as people don't eat it, then they're fine. But ingested, it is poisonous. So, but it's not unusual that it's part in our parks. And the second part is the Wiltshire Council local plan. You'll be aware that Wiltshire Council have pressed the reset button on the local plan, and they're now going back to basics and asking for us to nominate any sites. So again, I was thinking about this. Probably it would have been better to have put this in a section where we get a resolution. Are there any councillors that are passionate about the local plan and the call for sites? If so, it would be good to get nominations through of any sites that you feel may be relevant.
Are we able to check what we said last time? Because I think we've done a response to it.
Have you?
Yeah, we've said yes to.
I'm sure I remember submitting a list of possibles, but in fairness, it might take longer to find it than.
So let me find this. Consultation's open till the end of September. So if we find it, then we can add that to September agenda. And then in the meantime, if you have a think about any other sites that you would want to be considered for inclusion, then that would be the perfect opportunity.
We did have problems last time, if you remember, that we had allocated, and I think some of the year Dock as a proposed extension at Randall's Croft or above Randall's Croft. which the state have always put in, and I think we've always supported that. It's probably the only place where you can effectively do any reasonable development. But the only other problem was last time we came around, Wiltshire Council identified Sheep Fairfield. And we wanted to make sure that we categorically don't. We stopped.
In fairness, I don't think they put it in the local plan, didn't they? I remember.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't think it was necessary in the local plan, but it was an area of potential. Is what they put in, and we need
Can I
to
ask?
avoid that.
Can I ask the office team, please, to perhaps share with us a starter list, and we can that help us think of some more examples.
On the last.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, okay, I didn't realise you'd done it before. So we'll do that. We'll create an agenda.
I'm not sure how next month you'll find it, but I know we've had that conversation. Maybe some initial suggestions will help us there.
It's really understanding the brownfield sites that are around the town.
Yeah.
The problem we've obviously got is the Victorian sewage system, which can't cope really, and the flooding we have, so we've got Broadbridge is probably the only spot.
Thank you for that. So we'll move on to 13.2 decisions, delegated decisions. These that we don't need voting on.
Because we're only going to ratify the spend at the end of this.
Okay. So we've got the information there for everyone to see.
Do we just quickly rattle through it?
I think we can safely assume this has been read, right? Does anybody have any questions about 13.2, the delegated decisions? So these are decisions that have been made, we need to ratify them. Anybody got any questions?
Just the one about the sewage works at the pavilion, because it's been 15 years it's been there, it's never been emptied, so it probably got silted up. But I do wonder, it needs an annual service, yes, but maybe not sewage removal every year, every other year. We could not monitor that.
The service will determine the next steps.
Yeah. Okay, because it reads as if you're going to remove sewage every year, but I don't think that'll be necessary.
Thank you.
I've had that conversation with Reece.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I'll add that into the minutes in service and emptying of sewage tanks when needed.
Yeah. It's not high usage.
Yeah.
If they're working properly, it should be the.
Yeah, that's fine. So we just need to ratify the.
Yes. Any other comments about that section? Are we all happy with that? So can I have we need to propose yes, a proposer please to accept those.
Michelle?
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. Councillor Disman, the seconder. Thank you, Councillor Boyd. Are we all in favour? Yes, unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, so other matters. Staff training, Silka qualification for Neil, our comms officer.
Do you want to leave the room while they
I'd say congratulations for stepping up.
I'd say, are you sure?
Would anybody like to propose that?
propose to accept?
Yes, thank you, Councillor Ditton. Seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Matthews. All in favour? Yes, we're all in favour. Thank you, unanimous. Next item is council authorises additional hours. This is a potential, up to the cost of about £1,500 to cover annual leave. Okay, anybody got any questions about that?
Just the one. Is this basically just to kind of reshuffle hours so that the office is covered and all work can be done by the comms officer in the same kind of time period as what our current clerk would normally be working? So obviously comms is.
No, I normally do 45 hours a week. Neil does 14 hours a week. There's got to be some stretch. Yeah.
I thought you did 32 hours a week, Clark, didn't you?
She paid for that. It's actually contract. Work 45.
And what do the other staff do? Comms does
14.
He does 14 at the minute, and the facilities does
30.
30. Thank you very much.
Would somebody like to propose this item, please?
I propose to accept the.
Thank you, Councillor Ditton. Seconder, Councillor Alexander, thank you very much. Are we all in favour? Yes, thank you. The next item is regarding the town clerk's contract of employment. So nobody's proposing any changes to the contract of any detail therein. It's more of an administrative exercise to check well, I was going to propose myself and Councillor Forbes If you're happy,
Right.
on the basis that
You set the objectives already.
you already started, I'm close to the
Sorry,
subject, yeah.
Fine.
The mayor would do it.
That's
No,
fine.
you can't.
Oh, of course.
Can't,
Yeah.
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 I'll propose myself and councillor Ford. Is that okay? May I have a second, please? Councillor Dixon, thank you. Are you all in favour? Very good, thank you. The next item is the Visit Wilton.
Logo.
Yes, thank you. You'll recall that last meeting that the office was asked to get some more other quotes, and there's a report there of what happened at that request. Anybody got any questions or comments about this?
Was this design going to be upgraded? Because we haven't sent a copy, have we? I think we were going to add Wilton House and the carpet factory or something.
We would just decide on the companies that we're gonna do the bit first, because I'm
sure the design will come back to you today. Yes, the design will come back to us. So we're just, voting on companies.
Doesn't have to go to planning. It's part of planning.
The concept idea is not planning already.
Would anybody like to propose company A?
to change everything having been cross-checked, we go with company A.
Who's on that? Mick, thank you.
I'm from my brother.
Are we in favour?
They do.
Are you all in favour?
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
I'm going to abstain. I'll abstain on that one.
It's carried. Thank you very much. The next item is the financial regulations. These have been updated, as you can see, for the reasons there. Some extra bits added in. Anybody got any questions about that?
Just confirming the amount is 2.5. Is that right?
So going to be
the amount is 2.5. Am I on the right one?
We're on 13.3.3. 13.3.5 right now.
Yes, those are required the financial regulations.
Yeah, what is that amount?
Zero.
It doesn't cost us anything to update it apart from some staff time. There's no actual. It was some necessary updates to help with, the smooth running of.
What did I not see something about the clerk being able to? Did I not see something about you being able to approve things up to a certain amount? Was that in there?
Be in the
Yeah, I confirm that's 2.5.
Up to 2.5.
Yeah.
500. Yes, it is. Yes, it's included. Thank you. I'll propose that these updates be accepted. Would anybody like to second that? Thank you, Councillor Alexander. Are we all in favour? Yes. Yes, is all in favour. Thank you. And also the CCTV policy has been updated. No easy task. There's so much legislation involved there. Does anybody got any questions? Thank you, Councillor Willow. Is there a seconder, please? Councillor Matthews, thank you very much. Are we all in favour? Yes, we are. Thank you very much. So the next item is to appoint a contractor to do the flood risk assessment at Castle Meadow compound as part of the Castle Meadow compound project.
The project group met last week, I think it was, and when the papers went out, I've had 5 out of the 7 votes back, but we've since had all 7 in, and 6 out of the 7 have voted in favour of company.
Yes, so the project group is recommending, the company as mentioned here,
that all votes were in first when I published them.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so the result is the same then. Yeah, thank you. So would anybody like to propose that we accept this particular company as named on the agenda to do the flood risk assessment? Councillor Boyd, thank you. A seconder?
I think we haven't really
No, sorry, thank you. Was that a question or a second?
No, I was seconding it.
Right, thank you.
I said at the meeting, I like the sound of Eden Bell.
Are we all in favour? Yes, thank you very much. The sale of some Christmas lights. great if we found somebody who would like to be able to use them.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, are you saying you want to buy those lots? No,
We're selling the old one.
Because rather than try and sell them to the
The
town
recommendation
council.
with the council delegates authority to the town clerk
Have use of anyway.
to explore opportunities to sell the surplus lighting.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah, did you second?
Oh, that's it. Oh, yeah.
Has somebody proposed when I wasn't here?
Yes, councillor. Phil.
Okay, and the seconder was, are we all in favour? Yes. Thank you. And with that, the meeting is closed.
2051, brilliant.
Thank you for your attendance and I hope you have a safe journey home. Well done.
How we can get out of those roads.
Are they doing the traffic light?
No, it's, what they
Thursdays,
say?
no?
Road, yes, yeah, over a couple of nights, aren't they?
Water.
Yeah,
Can I ask you to sign the?
otherwise it's a long way home. Round Woodford, Maria, you would be, and so